today I'm going to be addressing questions that I get from people, and then I'm going to be throwing more light, to help someone out there. Now, my husband is sponsoring my trip to the UK, but the decision-making center is demanding that I show my bank statement with £1,270 with the 28 days maturity. Is it okay to be added as a signatory to my husband's account and respond to the UK? Will my visa be granted? If they're asking you to show that you have funds for the trip, then that is exactly what you should do. When you say if you should be added as signatory to your husband's account, no, that doesn't solve the problem. They are asking you for proof of funds. At best, your husband can transfer that money he says he's giving to you to take on this trip. He can transfer the funds to your bank account. So you will be presenting your bank account showing that, amount of money, I'm assuming that maybe the husband, because I'm looking at this message right now and I'm thinking, I don't know if you actually showed your husband's bank account, because if your husband attached his bank account and then also included a cover letter, then I'm hoping that, that would show that he is paying for your trip. But like I always advise people that even when someone is sponsoring you are a person. You're also a human being, and then if you're traveling, you're going to need to show that the money you're using to travel is available to you. So have your own bank account. You're an adult, unless maybe you are a child. Now, it doesn't mean that your bank account must show the total funds that you need to embark on that trip, but have a bank account that also shows that you have money. You're an adult. Have your bank account showing that you have money. You can also have a bank account that shows the money that your husband has actually given to you to spend on this trip, the estimated cost of your trip. So you need to have that and also include that along with your husband's bank statement and perhaps, a cover letter. So I hope that helped. This person also says, I have someone who is sponsoring my trip, accommodation and all other expenses, and it is indicated in my DS-160 form. Should I go with his bank statement or mine? Well, for the US Embassy, I want to believe this is the US Embassy. For the US Embassy, they usually don't have the time to review any documents that you may have. Now, if this person is sponsoring your trip, then of course, in this case, maybe you should have a letter from them and also maybe attach their bank statement. But I don't guarantee you, 9 out of 10 times, they would not request to see that bank statement. If you want to carry it just in case, feel free to do that. You can carry his own bank statement. But regarding yours, they would not focus on your bank statement. Now, when someone else is paying for your trip, they would be focusing on the strong ties that you have to your home country, the strong ties that you have, because you're not the one paying for the trip. So if you're not paying for the trip, so what strong ties do you have to this country to ensure that by the time you go on this trip that someone else is paying for, that you have a life to return to? So please, can I apply for visitor visa with 3 months bank statement in the UK? Now, the UK would tell you how many months, what the requirement is. Always stick with the requirement for that particular country that you're applying to. If someone says, I want to see 6 months, why do you want to put 3 months? So do 6 months for the UK, because that is what, if you're doing Schengen, most Schengen countries will take 3 months from you. But always check the requirements for the country and then, just comply. If someone says, I want 6 and you're giving them 3, then it doesn't speak very well. And I don't see that if I was assessing you, I would think you're not a serious person. I would request for 6, because if I request for 6 and you give 3, then maybe there's something you're hiding. So just go with the requirements and stop trying to cut corners. I have been refused UK visitor visa 3 times on financial grounds. Need your help and services. We provide visa support service. I would also include the link in the description box, so you can go, read, and then follow the instructions there on how you can contact us. Yes, it is possible to contact us, but it can only be done through that channel. This person says, please, I will be applying for my UK visa in April. I have been saving since 2023. Now, my sister needs a loan for an emergency, so I have transferred an amount to her and she will pay back by the end of this month. What reference should I give for it? And how do I explain it in the application when she transfers it back? Now, these are very simple things. Your sister, you're giving the money to your sister, you just state loan to your sister. When your sister is paying it back to you, she just says, refund of this, refund of loan or something like that, loan repayment or something like that. Just call it what it is. It's not such a big deal. Call it exactly what it is. In my case, it is an account that I used to save money, and my husband was depositing money for me for the trip. Is it acceptable? Yes, savings accounts can be used to show proof of funds. Yes. What if the bank statement is 2 months old, like the last balance was 2 months? Can it still be used? Of course, you can use anything, any bank statement that you have, but it has to, unless maybe it's just a savings account and then you're just showing, okay, this is my savings account. But if you're saying it's your salary account, if you're saying it's an account where you actually get your business money or your salary, just funds, then it would mean that maybe you haven't received funds in the past 2 months or whatever. But if it's just a savings account, like a savings account is a savings account, if it shows sufficient funds and then you explain that is your savings account, yes, you can use it. People have savings and maybe they deposit money in there, once in a while. If it's a good savings account that shows that money has been there, sitting in there for a long time, it would help. But if you're also trying to establish that you have an income, that you have strong ties, then showing a savings account that doesn't have activities will not really help you. But of course, if you're trying to use that same bank statement to show that yes, you get a monthly income, I'm not sure that would be the right thing to do. But if you're just using it as proof of savings that you have made for the trip, then it would, that's what you have. That's exactly what it is. You just present your case, explain it in your cover letter, and hope that will be sufficient. But if I was going to advise you, I would advise you to attach your salary account. It's easier because it also answers the questions of, the question that they may have regarding you having a sustainable income, which of course is a strong tie. So I hope that helps. This person says, please, do I need to attach any documents to my proof of funds during interview? The account is my uncle's business account and I don't bear the same surname with him. Get an introduction letter from your uncle. Let him explain why he is sponsoring your trip, because I'm assuming that you're attaching his business account because he's the one paying for your trip. He needs to include a cover letter introducing you, telling the embassy why he is paying for your trip, and then, vouching for you. So your uncle should include an introduction letter. Can I use my sibling's company account as my sponsor and his other personal assets as secondary sponsor? And please, how long do bank statements printed out become invalid? Will the 21-day since printed out be okay? I'm assuming that's what they're trying to do. Now, anyone can be your sponsor, so they can prove, by showing proof of funds, which is done through bank statement, that they're sponsoring you. However, their assets do not qualify as yours, and they don't also help you in showing proof of investment. So they don't need to attach other assets that they have to show that, yes, they are not the ones being interviewed, you are the one being interviewed. If the asset actually belongs to you, then yes, it would be relevant to your visa application, but their asset is not relevant to your visa application. Now, in terms of, saying, the bank statement was printed 21 days ago. Now, you'd find that most visa application would stress recent bank statement. In my opinion, 21 days ago is not recent. A recent bank statement, in my opinion, would be one that you've obtained shortly before you make that visa application. It could be a week before, it could be 2 weeks before, but 3 weeks, I think, is a bit of a stretch. Now, it doesn't mean you cannot use it, but you might have an instance where after you present it, the embassy may actually, advise you to bring in an alternative bank statement, show a current bank statement, just so they can, see what is happening. So I always stick to a week or two, but just to be on the side of, just to err on the side of caution, I would limit it to 2 weeks. But it doesn't mean that your 3 weeks will not be accepted. But then it would just depend on the embassy. They would choose to accept what they want to accept. Now, they always say recent, like I said, they always insist on recent bank statement. And I'm thinking maybe anything within 1 month might work, but I would stick to a week or two. I hope that helps. This one says, how much minimum bank accounts for tourist visa is needed? I'm sure this person is trying to say that how much you need in your bank account for a tourist visa. There's a video. You want to go watch this video. I'm going to include the link so you can go watch it. This person says, please, I have been wondering what type of bank account one needs to use for this purpose. Is it a savings account or a current account? Now, you can use a savings account. You can also use a current account. Anyone works, you can use anyone. This person says, can we submit shareholdings as financial proof in case of a study visa? Now, the shareholding is not proof of funds, but however, it is proof of investment, which goes to strong ties. So no, you cannot attach it as proof of funds. You can actually attach it as proof of investment, which of course goes to strong ties. This person says, can a company account be used? Yes, a company account can be used, but I always advise people, even when you're using a company account, always attach a letter signed by, if you're the managing director or whoever is the director of that company, just saying that the company is paying for your trip, because company money is not your money. Your company is a separate person from you. So just want to keep things professional. This person says, I just got employed, so I don't have a bank statement to submit for visa application. I have a sponsor. What should I do? Well, your sponsor can show proof of means, show that they have money to sponsor you, and then you submit that, and hope that will be enough. This person says, I want to transfer my funds from my business account to my personal account. How do I explain and show evidence of the lump sum? You just call it exactly what it is. If you're allowed to transfer money from your business account, for whatever purpose you're transferring it for, you just tag it the name that it is. Don't overthink it. It's not that serious. The person says, must the opening balance be as much as the closing balance? You are overthinking it. It doesn't matter. But ensure, there's a trick, with this. Ensure that your opening balance is not the least amount you had in that bank account, because I have seen a rejection letter where they made reference to the amount in the bank account on a particular date. Now, the point they were trying to make was that on this date, you barely had this amount of money. Then on this date, you now had this much. So try and make sure that when you're printing your bank statement, your opening account, your balance is actually shows, the normal activities in your bank account. What do I mean by that? There are times where, let's say you had, you had 10 naira in your bank. Normally you had 10 naira in your bank account, and then you now had to make a lump payment where you paid 9 naira 90 kobo, leaving only 10 kobo. But of course, shortly after, money entered your account and then you had 20 naira. Now, if you go print a bank statement on the day where you made that withdrawal and you had less than 1 naira, it would show in your opening balance. So you want to target whatever date you're choosing to print. Just ensure that is a date that you had a good opening balance. That's a trick there. That's a bonus. You're welcome. My bank name and my passport name is different. Can I attach affidavit to prove that both names are mine? Yes. My father is sponsoring my trip to the UK. He has a joint account with my mom, and in this joint account, there is a large transaction that came in and then out the same day, because she's currently helping my 91-year-old grandfather sell the property. How can I legitimize and explain this in my UK visa application? My mom has been in constant communication with my grandfather's lawyer with this property sale. Now, you have no business explaining the source of transaction in your sponsor's bank account. Your sponsor is required to show proof of funds, meaning that they have money to pay for your trip. It is not on you. They are not the ones being interviewed. So it's not on you to explain how money came in and what the money was meant for. That's on your sponsor. It is sufficient for them to show that at the time of your application, they do have the money to pay for your trip. So I hope that helps. What if I came with my normal bank statement and I say to the visa officer that the company will direct me money after getting my visa approved? It means the company doesn't direct money till I get my visa granted. Well, I think what you're trying to say, if your company is sponsoring your trip, then let them be the one telling the embassy that they are sponsoring your trip, and they will do that via an introduction letter. So they need to explain that they are the ones sponsoring your trip, and they're providing whatever they're providing for that trip and how much they're giving to you as pocket money, if that applies. So your company should do that, and they should do that in writing. My visa was rejected because they couldn't verify the source of my income. I used my personal bank account to conduct business operations, and my business is not registered. What documents should I provide for them to verify the source of my income? Now, it's easier to have a registered business and then open an account for that business, because it would show that you are serious, and then it is proof that you have ties to your home country. So it's easier to have a registered business because that's evidence to show that yes, you have a business. Any other thing would just be word of mouth, and it doesn't make it official, and it's not sufficient, proof of strong ties. So get your business registered, open an account and run it, and that would make it, it's easier for you to provide any documentation regarding that business. It says, please, can I save money in my account for 3 weeks before I print my proof of funds? There's a video you need to watch. So go watch that video. It would help you. I would include the link. Go watch it, because the answer to the question is no. So go and watch this video, and then it would help you. This person says, can I show a fixed deposit statement to the visa officer? Now, term deposits are not available funds. You need to show funds that, in liquid form in this case, that are available for the trip. So a fixed deposit, you need to liquidate it and show that that money is available for the trip. Now, why am I saying so? Because I've had an instance where someone I know was, denied a visa because she included proof that she had a fixed deposit. That would go to show investment, which is strong ties, but in terms of available funds, she was actually denied, and it was explained that she should have liquidated that fund to have it in her bank account, showing that it is funds that she has readily available for that trip. So I would say have it in liquid form. Do not attach fixed deposit. Have money easily available in your bank accounts, which you have set aside for that trip. I hope that helps. So I hope that was useful. If you have any more questions, please leave your comments here. I would respond to it, and then make sure you go watch other videos, because it would answer some of the questions that you have. And then if you like this content, make sure you hit the like button, and then subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. So thank you very much for joining me today, and do have a good day.